Sometimes the words we long to hear are the ones that shake us to our core, but they have the power to rebuild everything inside us. When someone you trust reveals something unexpected, it feels like they're rewriting the entire script of your life. You start questioning what was real and what wasn't. A confession from a best friend can either shatter or heal, depending on how open we are to embracing the truth that follows. In the silence that follows an unexpected revelation, we find ourselves grappling with new feelings, unsettled, unsure, but somehow stronger. What happens when the person you thought you knew best changes the story you thought you understood? It's like learning to walk again. It's never easy to face the reality that the person you thought was your anchor has quietly been untangling the ropes that once bound you together. The rawness of an unexpected confession reveals parts of a friendship you never knew existed, and in that revelation, you find new layers of yourself. I always thought I knew the truth, but sometimes the truth is more complex than we ever expected, and that's when everything begins to shift. After hearing a confession from someone I trusted, it felt as though my mind was filled with new, unspoken questions about who they really were. The truth is a mirror that reflects everything back at us. Sometimes that reflection is unrecognizable, and all we can do is process the changes. A best friend's confession can alter the course of your life in ways you never expected. It's as if a door opens to a different reality. We think we know people by the stories they share, but it's the confessions we least expect that show us who they truly are. The weight of a confession can leave you breathless, but it's also an invitation to see your friend in a light you never thought possible. When a best friend opens up and changes your perception, it's like stepping into a new chapter where everything you thought you knew is as questioned. There's a strange beauty in the discomfort that follows a confession. It's a chance to grow, heal, and learn more about yourself than you ever imagined. Suddenly, everything you believed about someone changes in a single conversation. It leaves you reflecting on the bond you thought you understood. A confession isn't just about honesty, it's about vulnerability. It's a bridge that connects the hearts of those brave enough to cross it. It's incredible how one simple truth can completely change the way you see someone, and in turn, the way you see yourself. The hardest confessions are often the ones that come with no warning, challenging every emotion you thought you had control over. When the truth is finally spoken, it feels like a storm is passing through your mind. Intense, overwhelming, but ultimately necessary for clearing the air. Every confession shifts the balance of trust. but it's how we handle it that shapes the future of our relationships. A best friend's words can be a gentle breeze or a gust of wind that forces you to rethink everything you've believed about them and yourself. It's amazing how one moment of honesty can turn everything upside down, but it also provides an opportunity to rebuild with a stronger foundation. After hearing a confession, it's not just about understanding the other person. It's about understanding the parts of yourself that are awakened in the process. The most powerful revelations are those that make us question not just the truth of others, but the truth we hold within ourselves. Sometimes you think you've seen the whole picture, but a confession from a friend shows you that the image was only a fragment of the truth. Confessions are like keys. They open doors to parts of us we never knew existed, forcing us to confront our deepest thoughts and feelings. When a confession changes everything you thought you knew about someone, it's as though a new version of them emerges, one you have to learn to understand. The impact of a confession isn't always immediate. It settles in, slowly altering the way you view the world and everyone in it. It's funny how a single truth can unravel everything you've worked so hard to understand, yet it has the potential to bring clarity that was once out of reach. In the wake of a confession, it's not just the relationship that shifts. It's the entire foundation of who you thought you were. A confession doesn't always bring immediate peace. Sometimes it brings more questions than answers, and that's when the real journey begins. What we think we know about someone can change in an instant, but it's how we embrace that change that determines how we move forward. The most unsettling confessions are the ones that make you realize you never truly understood the depths of your connection with someone. When someone reveals the truth, it feels like the world stops for a moment, and in that stillness, everything you believed is questioned. A confession has the power to challenge everything you thought you knew, but it also has the power to strengthen the bond you never knew existed. The confession itself might be simple, but the emotions it stirs within you are anything but. It's a reminder that everything in life is more complicated than it seems. In a moment of truth, the whole narrative of a friendship can change, and it's not about the words spoken, but the silence that follows. Sometimes, the people closest to you carry secrets that reshape your perception, and you must learn to navigate that new landscape. A confession can be a revelation, a release of pent-up feelings that change the course of your relationship in ways you never expected. Trust isn't something that remains unchanged, but it can grow stronger after the truth is spoken, even when it's difficult to hear. When the truth is finally laid bare, it's like being forced to confront a version of reality you never prepared for, yet somehow it sets you free. A best friend's confession might not always be easy to hear, but it brings with it the chance for new understanding and deeper connection. What happens when the person who has always been your support reveals something unexpected? It's a test of how much you truly know each other. Every confession is an invitation to see the world from a different perspective, one where the truth reshapes everything we thought we knew. It's the confessions that catch us off guard that often have the greatest impact, shifting our thoughts and feelings in unexpected ways. What we believe about someone can be turned upside down in a moment of vulnerability, but it's through this shift that we find our true strength. A confession doesn't always mean a fresh start. It's a revelation of new possibilities, some of which we might not yet be ready to explore. In the aftermath of a confession, there's always a mix of relief and discomfort, but it's through these emotions that we truly grow. The truth might hurt, but it's the only way to shed the layers of illusion and finally see things for what they truly are. When a confession changes your reality, you find yourself standing in the space between who you were and who you could become. The most profound revelations come not in the moments of certainty, but in the moments of doubt, when everything you thought you knew is called into question. A best friend's confession can be a gift wrapped in discomfort. It's the key to unlocking new depths in a relationship that's meant to evolve. Sometimes, the truth is a bombshell that reshapes everything, but it's also the catalyst for creating something stronger from the rubble. When someone's confession shakes you to your core, it's not about the words. They're simply the bridge to a new understanding of everything. The moment a confession hits, it's as if the world shifts and you're left with new eyes, seeing the person in front of you in a completely different light. A confession is a reminder that even the closest bonds can have hidden layers, layers that, once uncovered, change everything about the relationship. What we believe about people is never as set in stone as we think. Every confession offers a chance to rediscover and redefine the truth. A confession is like a doorway to a new chapter. It might be uncomfortable, but once you step through, everything looks different on the other side. It's amazing how one conversation can alter the course of your life, transforming everything you thought you understood into something you're still trying to figure out. In the wake of a friend's confession, it's not just their truth that changes, but the lens through which you view everything about them and yourself. A single confession can feel like an earthquake that shakes the very foundation of your reality, leaving you to pick up the pieces in search of truth. Truth has a way of sneaking up on us, and once it's revealed, it's impossible to unsee. It's a reminder that things are often more complex than we realize. Sometimes it takes an unexpected confession to remind us that the relationships we cherish are built on more than just what we think we know. When a confession alters your perception of someone you care about, it's as though the pieces of a puzzle you thought you completed have been scattered again. The truth doesn't always set us free in the way we expect, but it often opens doors to deeper understanding and unexpected growth. Confessions can be like mirrors, reflecting not only the person who speaks them, but also revealing parts of ourselves we didn't know existed. When you hear something unexpected from a close friend, it challenges everything you thought you knew about the world, forcing you to find new ground to stand on.